Tim Lennon on Facebook Live. With Dan Hilsman, here's a lively conversation with a 1,200 agent franchisee joining a leading eXp influencer and eXp founder Glenn Sanford about why and what's the future of real estate for agents.
Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Hit that subscribe button below.
So I want to make sure you know Dan Hilsman. I know because you've probably seen his name, run into him in halls in the meetings that have been going around the country. But Dan has been in the eXp for slightly longer than me. Dan, how long have you been here?
A little over 4.5 years.
Okay. And in 4.5 years, he was with a brokerage that I had started, not unlike what you had started, Glenn, but actually we were watching you at eXp. And I had started a cloud brokerage with a Craig Proctor training system behind it. And totally virtual, one office, 140 agents, had built it up to it, and watched you guys coming out of the ground in about 2015 or 16 and got it built there and was going, I had a partner. And I said, these guys are doing all this. I've already done this once. Why don't we take this whole brokerage to eXp? And at about that time, Dan came along and said, hey, gang, I love you to death, but I'm going to eXp. Is that about right, Dan?
I said, respect what you've done in Metro Atlanta. Glenn, I don't think you probably don't know, but Tim had the highest sales in the world for a broker owner for RE/MAX 22 years in a row. So then he retired and was the broker at the company that I was at. And then, I had to call up Tim and the owner and said I was leaving and going to eXp. And then about 2 weeks later, Tim, because I did not recruit Tim. For the record, this is being recorded. I did not recruit my broker. But he did call me about 2 weeks later and say, actually text me and say, can I pick your brain about eXp Realty? And we had conversations for about 4 months. And then I did sponsor the broker that was at the company that I left prior to coming to eXp Realty.
Which was he made the right move at the right time with some other great people at eXp. So that was about the time, just right after a couple major movers had joined, right? Because in watching eXp, I was trying to see if it was headed in the right direction because I'd been with RE/MAX for almost 27 years. And I'd watched that grow, and I'd watched like people making decisions and not necessarily agreeing with them. And while we were the biggest brokerage for RE/MAX, we didn't get the choice in what they did. That was Dave Liniger and vice presidents, et cetera. So I was real curious. I spent a lot of time on leadership meetings when I first joined eXp, watching and listening to you guys. And that was right after you had moved from was it penny stocks to NASDAQ? I think it was right about that.
Yeah. So we moved from the over the counter. So we were in the OTC QB to NASDAQ. So we uplisted NASDAQ in 2018.
Yeah, which was huge. I mean, that's just huge.
It was kind of fun in that we knew where we were going. But it was really interesting when we were trading on the OTC, how many people said, oh, it's just a penny stock, it's this and that, whatever. And, I knew I'd been involved with a lot of small public companies over the years. So I had some experience in that. And I knew, where we were going. So every time somebody would poo-poo it, I'd go, man, that's just another thing they're going to be wrong about. At some point in the future, it's going to come back and bite them. And sure enough, we uplisted, and it's been, and now we've got the highest market cap of any organized real estate brokerage.
It's just
so it's pretty crazy to think about the fact that we have a higher market cap than RE/MAX, than Compass, than Open Door, and then there's some smaller players as well. I mean, Zillow has a higher market cap, but they're not really a brokerage. They're a portal. They have a totally different business model. Anywhere, which is of course owns all the real Century 21 Coldwell Banker ERA. Sotheby's, we have a higher market cap than they have. So it's pretty interesting just to think about the fact that, even though our market cap has come down because the housing market has been under pressure, we still maintain and should outperform our peers just from a market cap perspective.
I think just based on watching the financials and listening to leadership and what you've done and trying to both spread wide as well as vertical, the revenue streams that are going to be coming into the company are going to be pretty significant. And Dan is a major influencer inside of eXp. And I think he's nearing maybe at between 900 and 1,000 agents in his organization. So he's done a great job, building within the system and helping a lot of agents. I think that's the big part of it that I like. I'm a little older than both of you, so I get to come at it from the position of I've already climbed this mountain once. I'm anxious to do it again, but the second time around, I'm doing it for fun, and I'm doing it to help people and pay for the bills while I travel and have fun. Dan, on the other hand, is out there really putting in hours. So I know, Dan, you probably have some questions for Glenn or some thoughts. I don't want to
sure.
the conversation.
No, I've enjoyed listening. I'm super excited and grateful to be on here. But yeah, one of my questions, or the main question really, Glenn, is what are you the most one or two things excited about for 2023 with eXp Realty?
Well, there's been a number of things that we've been innovating on for a couple of years that are finally in the process of getting rolled out in the ecosystem. So we bought in 2020, we bought Showcase IDX, and so they're based there in Atlanta, Georgia, but but inside of that, we came up with a number of ideas and things that we wanted to do. One, they built out our national exprealty.com portal, but we're the first nationwide single brokerage in the country, which makes us very, very unique relative to anybody else that's out there that's got a nationwide footprint. So we're in the process now of coming out with some things that will roll out, I think, in the next 2 weeks. That will be game changers for agents. So I don't want to, blow the press release or the opportunity to really promote it. But when we roll it out, it will be one of these jaw-dropping moments for agents thinking about, what does this mean for me as an agent, being a part owner and being an agent in a nationwide brokerage, and tools that they're going to be able to take advantage of that historically they've never been able to do without getting licensed in different states and then putting in the infrastructure to do some things. So we're automating and building out some really cool tools. So that's one I've been talking to a lot of people behind the scenes on, and without going into what that is, it's something I'm really excited about.
If I can just give a shout out right there to Scott Lockhart. Scott was my CTO at Remax Greater Atlanta. So when I saw that you guys had purchased them, I got on the phone with Scott and said, "Thumbs up, man! Glad you're here." So he was great. He's doing a great job.
Well, you might be able to pick his brain and go, well, "What are you guys getting ready to do?"
I don't need to. I'll let him keep working on it. I know he's working hard.
Yeah, he is. So, so that, and then, obviously, I reassumed the CEO of Realty title as of January 3rd, and that's part of how we got on this call, because I basically said, hey, if people want to do things that they're going to broadcast socially about eXp, we want to make sure that agents have an opportunity to learn about eXp, and if I can help you create an audience, or we can leverage the audience that you built to continue to tell the story of eXp. Our whole mission is to be the most agent-centric real estate brokerage on the planet. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to do it in a way where the company is actually profitable and sustainable. Right now, it's kind of a weird time in real estate because, for a while, quite a few years, money was cheap on Wall Street. Money was super inexpensive. You could go raise money. We've never raised money from Wall Street. All of it's been, it's over 70% of our company, or close to 70% of our company, is owned by agents, brokers, staff, and founders, which is pretty incredible. But for a while, you can look at the Open Doors, the Compasses, and the list goes on of companies that raise tons of money with no intention of ever running a profitable company, with the idea that they would just pick up market share, and that Wall Street would be there to help them buy market share. And one of the things that we've been is, we've been historically profitable on an EBITDA basis since 2019. And so that for us is like, how do you build a company that will last a long time? One, it's kind of like Warren Buffett. You build companies that are profitable. They don't have to be hugely profitable, but they have to be able to pay their bills from the cash flow from operations of those businesses. And so for us, that was, when we started the company, we said, how do we build a company that's sustainable in good times and bad times? And we really dialed in this model. So when an agent joins us, they don't have to worry about, whether we're going to be here for the long run financially. We're super solid with what we've built, and I think it's just going to become more and more attractive, as we continue to grow over the next 5-10 years or more.
I think the way I phrased it to Dan earlier, he was asking, what are we going to talk about? I was like, well, here's how I look at it. I've been doing this a long time, and I watched the traditional companies. I was part of that. I was helpful with RE/MAX getting its foot in its place in the real estate world. And this is the next iteration of what agents will be doing, what real estate will be doing for agents, which is that ownership piece and having a part of profit, having a part of revenue, having a part of really getting some of the benefit along with the stock for what you do every day without actually having to do anything else. That's the part that I think is the most remarkable. I had to have overhead. I had to have building, capital, personnel, all of that. I can walk in here, not have to have any of that, and build an organization like Dan's built. And I had 1,200 agents. He's got 1,000. I guarantee his name is not on the line of as many loans as mine had to go on to get there.
Right. And in reality, I mean, when you look at the reduction in stress level to actually run an organization of that size, and then you think about it from a long-term passive income perspective, it trumps owning a franchise.
Absolutely.
Even if you ran a really great franchise, it takes a lot of work, to make even just a few $100,000 a year after all your expenses. And Dan, of course, is with coming up on 1,000 agents, he's in that few $100,000 a year category of passive income.
Yep. Which don't tell his wife.
Hopefully she's not watching.
I know we've only got a few minutes left. Dan, I want to give you a couple opportunities. Any other questions for Glenn?
That was my main question. I was super excited to ask that question. So it sounds like the IDX showcase and whatever we're going to talk about here in a couple of weeks is going to help one of my biggest opportunities, which is helping agents to grow and stay qualified and then become capping agents and icon agents. So I'm excited about whatever that opportunity may be. But that was my main question today. I wanted to be excited about what Glenn was excited about.
Well, and I'm psyched about all of that as well. Like I said, the technology piece has always been dear to my heart, so I like that part. The other part, though, to be honest, is our international expansion. I was talking to an agent yesterday with Berkshire, and I mean, her eyes just lit up when I discussed my goal. Dan, you've got agents in 27 states, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more than 25 and several hundred in Canada, and I think one Mexico and maybe Brazil. So, yep.
So that's just for me. I've had the luxury, good fortune of being able to travel, and being able to go meet somebody. I'm going to plan on Rome in the summer of this year to see who I can talk to about joining and being part of what we're doing. So it's like I get to travel, talk real estate, have fun doing what I'm doing, but you get to travel all over the world. When your eyes light up when people see that you can actually have a brokerage all over the world on your own without having any of that heavy franchise investment. That's huge.
And you get to actually turn some of that into an actual business expense. So you get to use part of your Rome travel as a business expense.
I think pretty much I'll do that, and I'll make sure that it's all documented so the IRS knows I won't take any risks. So yeah, but you're absolutely right. And I've got friends all over the world. So I've got, a lovely time to be able to look at traveling and bringing agents into a business that, by the way, to your point of having spent a lot on technology, I think in 2008, I was on a safari and spent $800 on my phone bill, right? While I was running a brokerage here. And now I can do that all via WhatsApp or Facebook Workplace and have all the interaction that I need to do business anywhere, anytime at no additional real overhead. That's just incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a little bit of roaming charges, but that's about it.
If you get a French telephone or an Italian telephone, it's not that bad.
There you go.
All right. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time. As soon as I heard you say that you were willing to jump on a Facebook Live, I think while we were in the meeting, I scheduled that with you. And I appreciate you being willing, because I'm really just for everybody out there, I'm a nobody at eXp, i.e. I'm an agent. I have some people in an organization, but small. I'm just selling real estate, having a good time, having fun, watching people be able to get things that they never could have gotten in the world that I was in before with RE/MAX. So I'm delighted to see what we're doing. I really believe this is the next iteration of real estate for the real estate agents. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you,
Awesome.
Glenn.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Dan. And chat soon.
Thanks.
See you, shareholders.
See you soon.
Okay. See you then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Give me a call. Tim Lennon, 404-368-2607.